Okay, let me ask you this. Are you truly confident, I mean really confident, that your current hiring process finds those tenacious people, the ones who actually drive long-term sales success?
That's a great question because among the sales experts, the whole effectiveness of sales talent indicator tests, well, it's a hot topic, definitely debated.
It really is. Welcome to the deep dive. We try to cut through that noise and find what actually fuels results.
hmm
So today, we're digging into the value and, the pitfalls of these tests, and we're zeroing in on something the sales experts call sales grit, that non-negotiable piece.
Right. And our mission here really is to give you, the sales leaders, the hiring managers, the executives listening, some practical insights, things you can actually use.
Exactly. To help you refine your talent strategy, get a better handle on what makes those high-performing teams, well, perform. We've been looking closely at what the sales experts are saying about all this.
Okay, so let's dive right in. These sales talent indicator tests. The basic idea is to get a snapshot, right? A sense of a candidate's inherent sales skills and their potential.
Yeah. And the sales experts point to a few common ones you probably know.
Like DISC.
Like DISC, yeah. That looks at dominance, influence, steadiness, conscientiousness. The sales experts suggest it gives clues, maybe, about communication style, work preferences, potential strengths or weaknesses in sales.
And then there's the Myers-Briggs, the MBTI. That evaluates personality type preferences.
Uh-huh.
And the idea is it offers insight into maybe their sales approach, how they might interact with clients, handle different scenarios.
But what's interesting, and the sales experts highlight this, is that there are also tests more specifically for sales.
Right, like the sales aptitude test. That's meant to gauge things like prospecting, closing ability, building rapport, those core skills.
And the sales personality test, too. That looks at traits like assertiveness, resilience, optimism, things you definitely need in sales.
Absolutely. And let's not forget emotional intelligence tests. The sales experts bring these up too.
Oh, yeah, crucial. Measuring that ability to understand and manage emotions, your own and other people's.
Which in sales, dealing with clients, navigating challenges, that feels incredibly important, doesn't it?
It really does. But there's a big but here, isn't there?
There is. While these tests can offer a data point, maybe some useful info, the sales experts are really clear. Don't treat them as gospel.
Right. They stress you have to look at these results alongside actual work history, qualifications, the interview, the
Yeah.
whole picture.
Exactly. They're tools, potentially helpful, but they shouldn't be the only thing you base a decision on. Not by a long shot.
That makes sense. Now, what about past results? That's something everyone looks at, right? A candidate's track record.
Of course. But the sales experts also caution against relying solely on past sales numbers as a predictor of future success.
Why is that? I mean, intuitively, good past results should mean good future results.
You'd think so. But think about context. The sales experts point out that markets change constantly. Consumer preferences shift. New competitors pop up.
Ah, okay. So someone hitting targets last year might have been in a totally different market landscape.
Precisely. Or maybe the team dynamics were different.
Yeah.
New leadership, maybe high turnover. Or the opposite, a really stable, supportive team they won't have now.
And the product itself could change too, right? New features, different pricing.
Or even external stuff.
Yeah.
Economic climate, political shifts. The sales experts say all these things can make past results less reliable for predicting what someone will do in your specific environment. Now,
So past results give you some insight, maybe into meeting targets, using certain skills, building relationships.
yes, valuable insights. The sales experts agree on that. But you have to see it as just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Context is key.
Okay, so if the tests aren't perfect predictors and past results need context, what's the really critical thing? This is where sales grit comes in, based on the sales experts.
Yes, exactly. And their definition is interesting. They define sales grit as that ability to just persevere, stay focused on the goals, even when you hit obstacles, rejections, setbacks, which, let's face it, is constant in sales.
It really is. It's
Okay.
that drive to just keep going.
And the sales experts break down what that looks like. What are the traits?
Well, first, perseverance. Just that
Okay.
willingness to put in the time, the effort, even if it takes multiple tries to close a deal, pushing through the challenges.
Then resilience. That's huge. The sales experts really stress this. Bouncing back from no. Not letting rejection kill your motivation. Refocusing quickly.
You have to have thick skin, right?
You really do. And a positive attitude helps. The sales experts mentioned this too. Approaching work with optimism, seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as Learning
The
opportunities.
mindset shift.
Exactly. And finally, just a strong work ethic. Being disciplined, organized, focused on results, putting in the necessary effort consistently.
So the sales experts basically conclude that this sales grit is, well, essential, crucial for succeeding, especially today. It helps people overcome all that adversity and actually hit their goals.
Makes sense. It's the engine driving performance when things get tough.
Okay, so let's boil this down for the sales leaders, the hiring managers listening. What are the main takeaways from the sales experts here?
Well, takeaway number one, I'd say, is adopt a holistic assessment, a balanced approach.
Meaning?
Meaning, don't just rely on one thing. Combine the insights you might get from indicator tests with a really thorough look at experience, skills, and actively look for signs of that sales grit.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket, test scores or past numbers.
Exactly, which leads to the second takeaway. Look beyond the numbers on past results.
Go deeper.
Yeah, the figures give context, sure. But the sales experts suggest you need to understand how they got those results. Probe into their resilience, their adaptability, their work ethic when things didn't go smoothly. That's where you see the grit.
Okay, holistic view and dig deeper into the how behind past results. Anything else?
One more point the sales experts make is about expertise. They highlight the value of sometimes partnering with specialist sales recruiters.
People who do this day in, day out.
Right. Professionals who have deep experience spotting top sales talent, often recognizing those more intangible qualities like grit that really predict long-term sales success.
So summing up this deep dive into the sales experts' views, achieving sales success isn't simple. It needs, what, a smart understanding of tests, knowing their limit,
And interpreting past results carefully, considering the context.
and really prioritizing finding and nurturing that sales grit.
Absolutely. Understanding this should really empower you as leaders and managers to build genuinely high-performing sales teams.
Definitely food for thought. So we encourage you to take a hard look at your own hiring processes, your talent development. How are you currently assessing for sales grit?
Maybe explore some resources from the sales experts for more ideas on optimizing how you find that top talent.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with.
Go for it.
In this relentless pursuit of sales success, is it ultimately the tools we use to measure talent, or is it that unmeasurable tenacity, that grit within the individual that truly tips the scales?
Something to think about for sure.